Hello and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. On 12th of April this year, parliamentary elections are to be held in Hungary. The opposition Tisza Party has unveiled a bold election platform challenging the incumbent Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. Joining us is Zoltán Tarr, Deputy Chairman of the Tisza Party and an MEP with the European People's Party, to discuss Euro adoption, foreign policy, energy and the campaign to unseat Orbán. Mr. Tarr, welcome to TVP World. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Hello, good evening. Thank you very much for having me.
Good evening, sir. So, Viktor Orbán, he's been in power for nearly 16 years. What is Tisa going to do to unseat him?
First of all, what needs to be realized that there is a huge dissatisfaction in the society with Viktor Orbán's rule and with the corruption and with all the dysfunctional state he has created. And for that, what Tisa has done is that we were gathering all these disillusionment. We are trying to voice the people's fear as well as their frustration, and it seems that people do resonate with this and are ready for a change. And in order to be able to do that change and to have a very strong program for that, we just published our governmental program and governmental ideas in this.
Okay, so there are two issues there. The first is you say that you've got your pulse on the people's attitudes and what they want. Now, some polls are saying that you have an 8 to 16% lead, whereas Viktor Orbán says that Fidesz is in the lead. Who are we to believe, or rather, who are the people to believe?
Well, I mean, if you ask me, I would say that we have to be very, very careful with whatever Viktor Orbán is saying, because we have caught him lying several times. But these are polls what we are talking about, and obviously the main decision will be made on the day of the election. We are very hopeful and we have strong indications that people are on our side, but there is a long way to go and a lot of votes to fight for. So that's what we are going to do, and we are not laid back. We have to work until the very last minute, and that's what we are doing.
Understood, Mr. Tarr. Now, could you be more specific, please? What is Tisa's core message that you believe is going to resonate most with the Hungarian population?
First of all, what is the most difficult thing, but the most important thing, is to get to the rural areas, to get to the people who are the most disadvantaged when we talk about getting proper information, when we are talking about understanding what's going on in the country. Hungary is under a propaganda rule. The government owns the 80% of the media in Hungary, which means it is almost impossible for people to find the true information. And this is one of the first goals we have achieved. And what we are doing is that we are traveling around the country, going to people, meeting people in rural areas, talking to them, asking what the problems are. And what they say the most, it is healthcare, transportation and education. These are the three most important issues where people would like to see major development. And of course, this is within a very bad economic context. Hungary is going down economically. The inflation is getting higher and higher. Energy prices are really high. And that is what people feel every day when they are going to do their grocery shopping, or when they need to find out how they are going to survive until the end of the month.
So what is Tisa's proposal for addressing these challenges?
First of all, we promise that we will lift this very heavy and very thorough political oppression what Hungary is experiencing in these past 16 years. Orbán made sure that his political power will not be harmed, so he made everything very centralized. And there is a general fear that if people are speaking up, or people have questioned the ruling government, they might lose their job, their kids might get out of school. And there could be any kind of punishment for that, just like in communist times. We would say that what is happening now more and more is more and more somehow brings back the not so well remembered communist years of Hungary. We have to bring about economic development, and that needs to be done in a way that we will have zero tolerance towards corruption. We have to make sure that we will be able to unfreeze the EU funds, which are now frozen because of the corrupt Orbán government. And if we can unfreeze those resources, we will be able to hopefully do some of the work which was not done in the past 16 years, meaning supporting and developing the healthcare system and also the transportation. These are the areas where people feel the most that they are being left alone.
Understood. Now, you mentioned EU, the frozen EU funds. You mentioned the corruption, which is one of the reasons for those funds being frozen. Now, your foreign policy chief, Viktor Orbán, says that she is going to strengthen Hungary's position in the EU and with NATO. How?
Well, first of all, Hungary, unfortunately, under this government, is not a trustworthy ally within the EU and NATO. Unfortunately, Orbán became the person who creates problems for the EU and is not part of finding a solution. Our goal is to be a responsible but constructive partner. We want to represent the interest of Hungary and the Hungarian people, but we want to do it in a way that is finding also solutions for the Union, where we are a member for over 20 years now, and we are very proud of that. But the majority of the Hungarian people are happy to be part of the EU, and they see the benefits of being a member country within the EU. So for us, it means that we have to sit at the table. We have to be ready to discuss even difficult matters, but we always have to look for what is good for all of us so that it can be good for us as well. Concerning NATO, we have to be a responsible ally, meaning that we have to be careful with the ties with Russia. This government, the Orbán government, has too close ties with Russia, and in a way it provides them entrance to the NATO systems, and the NATO allies already realize that and are treating the current Hungarian government with a lot of carefulness. So for us to make sure that we are a responsible member of NATO, we have to do our utmost to prove that, because that is the warranty that we can preserve peace in Hungary and in Europe.
When you say we have to do the utmost to improve the perception of Hungary, does that mean that you will rebalance the relationship with Moscow that Viktor Orbán has developed, quite a close relationship with President Putin and with Russia? Are we talking about rebalancing towards Brussels, rebalancing towards NATO?
Yes, absolutely. Russia is an important partner for Hungary, most of all because of our energy resources are mainly coming from Russia, meaning oil and gas. So for us, for the interest of the country, it is very important to have a balanced and pragmatic relationship with Russia. It is important for the sake of the people. We think that the current government is not doing it with the same approach. They are pleasing Putin and his regime a bit more than they should. And this is something which cannot be tolerated if we are a member of the EU as we are, and also as we are a member of the NATO as we are. Hungary belongs to Europe. Hungary does not belong to Russia. And our history has taught us that.
OK, now, there are a couple of more points that I need to ask you before we have to end. So I'll request that you're as brief as possible, please, Mr. Tarr. The first is to do with energy. Now, you've made it clear in your plan that you want to reduce your reliance on Russian energy, but that will come at a price. How will you replace the energy that you stop buying from Russia?
We would like to diversify. There is already a growing amount of renewable energy within the Hungarian energy mix, and we would like to propose to even further develop it. There are other areas where we can make some major developments, for example, geothermic energy. And also we have to diversify our resources for gas and oil, and we will be able to do that. There are other countries which are willing to sell and already ready to sell gas and oil for Hungary, and there are already infrastructure at place which is available so that we can use that. So I think we have to be very careful, of course, because the energy is very important in every country, and is very important in Hungary as well. But we are sure that we can loosen our dependence on Russian fossil energy very much.
Understood. Now, finally, I want to ask about euro adoption. That's also a core element of your plan, your manifesto. What has stopped euro adoption thus far, and what are you going to do as Tisa to make the conditions right for Hungary to adopt the euro?
Well, in our program, what we are saying is that we are at the end of our mandate, which we hopefully start on the 13th of April. We would like to be able to set the date of the introduction of the euro. This is the plan what we have. At the moment, we cannot say more because, unfortunately, we don't have all the necessary information available to us to see what is the real situation economically in Hungary. There is a lot of information and data which is hidden from us. It is hidden from the citizens of Hungary. There are many agreements, governmental agreements, which we have no information of. So we have to know, we have to get into those documents and those agreements in order to understand the current economic situation. What is sure that we have to make sure that our people, the Hungarian people, will have energy which is available for them on a cheap price. We have to support our SMEs, and we also have to make sure that we are doing it in a way that we are taking care of our partnership within the EU and NATO. And that's what we are prepared to do, hopefully from April.
This is Zoltán Tarr, Deputy Chairman of the Tisza Party. Thank you very much for sharing the detail of your plan for the April election. Have a good evening, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening.
Bye. And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Don't go away, lots more coming up.